Welcome to Home with Justin. Today's journey takes viewers into the heart of an Oasis-inspired patio design. A seamless blend of lush greenery, vibrant blooms, towering trees, petite shrubs, sprawling lawns, and thoughtfully curated garden elements. Picture a sun-dappled morning, where the air carries the faint scent of jasmine, and the soft rustle of leaves stirs the silence. The Oasis patio begins with a foundation of intention. Every element chosen to evoke serenity and connection with the natural world. At its core lies a cluster of verdant potted plants, their glazed ceramic vessels gleaming subtly in earthy tones of terracotta and sage. These pots, varying in size, create a rhythm across the space, drawing the eye from the delicate fronds of a fern to the bold sculptural leaves of a monstera. Their placement feels organic yet deliberate, as if they've grown together over time, softening the edges of the patio's stone flooring with their gentle presence. Beyond the potted greens, a cascade of flowers spills forth, adding bursts of color that dance in the sunlight. Imagine low-lying planters brimming with lavender, their purple spikes swaying in the breeze, mingling with the fiery reds of geraniums and the soft yellows of marigolds. These floral accents are more than decoration. They're a living palette, painting the patio with seasonal shifts that keep the space dynamic. Tucked among them, a trellis climbs the wall, draped in the tendrils of a flowering clematis. Its blossoms a delicate contrast to the rugged texture of the stone behind it. This vertical garden element lifts the design, creating depth and a sense of enclosure without overwhelming the openness of the space. Now, envision the quiet majesty of taller trees anchoring the scene. A slender olive tree rises from a corner, its silvery leaves catching the light, while a dwarf citrus, perhaps a lemon or kumquat, stands proudly nearby, its branches heavy with fruit. These trees bring height and structure, their canopies offering dappled shade that shifts with the day's arc. Beneath them, smaller shrubs like boxwood or rosemary form a natural border, their compact forms lending a tailored elegance to the wilder sprawl of the lawn beyond. The interplay of scale here is key. Tall and small working in tandem to craft a landscape that feels both expansive and intimate. The lawn itself stretches out like a living carpet, its emerald blades meticulously trimmed, yet invitingly soft underfoot. This isn't merely grass, it's a canvas for leisure, a place where bare feet might wander or a blanket might unfurl for an afternoon of reading. Edging the lawn, a subtle path of stepping stones winds through, each slab weathered just enough to suggest timelessness. The path beckons exploration, leading the eye toward a hidden nook where a single bench sits beneath the boughs of a flowering cherry tree. In spring, petals drift downward, dusting the seed in pale pink, a fleeting gift from the season. Water whispers into the design next, a gentle thread weaving through the oasis. A small fountain, perhaps carved from smooth river stone, burbles quietly in a corner, its trickle a soothing counterpoint to the rustling leaves. Around it, moisture-loving plants like hostas and caladiums thrive, their broad leaves glistening with dew. This water feature isn't ostentatious. It's a subtle nod to the lifeblood of any oasis. Grounding the space in a sense of calm abundance. Nearby, a shallow birdbath reflects the sky, drawing winged visitors whose songs add another layer of texture to the soundscape. Texture, indeed, becomes a defining thread in this patio's tapestry. Rough-hewn wooden furniture, perhaps a low table and a pair of chairs, sits atop the stone, its grain weathered by sun and rain. Cushions in muted linens of cream and olive soften the seats, their fabrics chosen to echo the natural hues around them. A woven rug, its fibers kissed with patterns of vines, anchors the seating area, bridging the gap between the hardscape and the organic sprawl beyond. Every surface invites touch, from the cool smoothness of the fountain's edge to the velvety petals of a nearby rose, ensuring the space feels as good as it looks. Light plays its own role, shifting the mood as day turns to dusk. Imagine solar lanterns strung along the trellis, their warm glow flickering to life as shadows lengthen. A pair of sconces flanks the patio's entrance, casting pools of light that highlight the silhouette of a swaying palm. Beneath the trees, discrete ground lights illuminate the trunks, turning their bark into sculptural art against the night. This interplay of illumination keeps the oasis alive after sunset, transforming it into a place for quiet reflection or intimate gatherings. Where the boundaries between indoors and out dissolve. Scent weaves through the experience, an invisible thread tying it all together. The citrus tang of the dwarf tree mingles with the sweet musk of blooming honeysuckle, while the earthy richness of damp soil rises from the pots after a light rain. Herbs like thyme and mint, tucked into low planters, release their fragrance when brushed by a passing hand, adding a sensory layer that feels both wild and cultivated. Practicality marries beauty in the garden elements that complete the vision. A sleek compost bin hides in a corner, its contents quietly nourishing the soil. A discreet irrigation system hums beneath the surface, ensuring the plants thrive with minimal effort. Even the stepping stones serve a dual purpose, guiding footsteps while preventing the lawn from wearing thin. These details, though subtle, speak to a design that's as functional as it is enchanting, a space crafted not just for admiration, but for living. The Oasis patio, as envisioned, stands as a testament to the seamless fusion of nature and design. A space where every detail conspires to create a retreat that feels both wild and refined. Yet, the journey doesn't end with the initial tableau of potted greens, vibrant blooms, towering trees, and sprawling lawns. There's a deeper story to unfold, one that stretches beyond the patio's edges, weaving in new layers of inspiration, functionality, and timeless appeal. This expanded exploration delves into the nuances of crafting such a space, from seasonal adaptations to sustainable practices, from bespoke furniture arrangements to the subtle art of outdoor living, all while preserving the oasis's soulful essence. Consider the seasons as silent collaborators in this design. Spring awakens the patio with a flush of new growth. Tulips pushing through the soil, their petals unfurling in shades of coral and ivory, while the cherry tree's blossoms drift like confetti across the lawn. The air hums with possibility, and the potted plants, refreshed from winter's dormancy, stretch toward the lengthening days. Summer arrives in a blaze of abundance, the citrus tree laden with fruit, its zest mingling with the heady perfume of roses now in full bloom. The lawn thickens, a lush expanse that begs for barefoot strolls, while the fountain's trickle offers respite from the heat. Autumn paints the scene in burnished tones. The olive tree's leaves take on a golden sheen, and the shrubs trade their verdant hues for russet edges, a quiet farewell to the year's exuberance. Winter, though stark, brings its own magic. The bare branches of the cherry tree etch patterns against the sky, and evergreen shrubs like holly stand sentinel. This seasonal dance isn't merely aesthetic, it's a blueprint for adaptation. Imagine swapping out annual flowers with perennials that return year after year, their roots deepening with time. Pansies might give way to hardy salvias, their spiky blooms a magnet for late-season pollinators. Sustainability weaves its way into the narrative, a thread as vital as the plants themselves. Picture a rain barrel tucked discreetly behind the trellis, its weathered wood blending with the landscape as it captures runoff to nourish the garden. The irrigation system, already subtle, might draw from this source, its drip lines feeding the roots with precision, wasting nothing. Solar panels, slim and unobtrusive, could power the lanterns and ground lights, their energy harvested from the same sun that feeds the greenery. The plants themselves tell a story of ecological harmony. Native species, perhaps black-eyed Susans or coneflowers, join the floral chorus, their resilience a gift to the local ecosystem. butterflies flit among them drawn by nectar, while bees hum through the lavender, their work a quiet symphony of pollination. The taller trees like the olive or citrus might be paired with understory companions, think low-growing sedums or creeping thyme, that carpet the soil, locking in moisture and deterring weeds. This isn't just a patio. It's a habitat, a micro-oasis that supports life beyond its human inhabitants, a nod to the broader tapestry of the natural world. Furniture evolves into more than mere utility. It becomes an extension of the oasis's spirit. Beyond the rough-hewn table and chairs, imagine a daybed swinging gently from a pergola, its canopy draped in climbing wisteria that blooms in cascading purple. Cushions and weathered linen pile atop it, their textures soft against the wood's grain. A hammock stretches between two trees, its canvas swaying in the breeze, an invitation to pause and listen to the leaves. A dining table, long and narrow, might join the scene, its surface a slab of reclaimed oak, surrounded by mismatched chairs that tell their own stories, of flea markets, of patina earned over decades. Each piece feels handpicked, as if it grew from the patio itself, rooted in both comfort and character. Sound deepens the sensory tapestry. Beyond the fountain's murmur and the bird's chorus, imagine wind chimes hung from the pergola, their tones a soft metallic shimmer that rises and falls with the air. A rustling stand of ornamental grasses, perhaps miscanthus with its feathery plumes, adds a whisper to the edges, their movement a visual echo of the breeze. crunch of gravel, the snap of a twig underfoot, the distant hum of a lawnmower, all weave into the soundscape, grounding the oasis in its surroundings. Light, already a player, takes on new dimensions. Picture a chandelier of woven twigs suspended above the dining table, its bulbs casting a warm, dappled glow that mimics sunlight through leaves. Fairy lights might trail along the stepping stones, their pinpricks of brightness guiding nighttime wanderings. A trio of hurricane lanterns, their glass streaked with age, could sit atop the retaining wall, their candles flickering as dusk settles. Scent, that invisible artist, grows richer still. The herbs expand, basil joins the thyme, its peppery notes rising with the heat, while a pot of sage lends a smoky undertone. A night-blooming jasmine climbs the pergola, its fragrance unfurling after sunset. A secret gift for evening visitors. The lawn, after a rain, releases that unmistakable petrichor, earthy and clean, while the fire pit's smoke curls upward, its woody tang a primal note in the mix. The oasis's edges blur into the broader landscape. A hedge of lilacs might rise along one side, their blooms a fragrant wall in spring, while a gate opens to a vegetable garden beyond, rows of tomatoes and kale thriving in raised beds, their harvest destined for the patio's table. A pond could shimmer in the distance, its surface rippling with koi, a bridge arching over it to connect the spaces. The patio becomes a threshold, a heart from which other gardens radiate. each tied to the oasis by paths, scents, and shared intention. Water, already a thread, expands its role. A rain garden dips into a corner, its basin lined with stones and planted with rushes, capturing runoff to ease the soil's thirst. A narrow rill, its channel carved from slate, might wind through the lawn, its flow a silver ribbon that reflects the sky. A misting system, hidden in the trellis, could pulse on summer's hottest days, its fine spray cooling the air without drenching the scene. A chalkboard leans against the retaining wall, its surface scrawled with notes on companion planting. Marigolds guarding the roses from pests, basil thriving beside tomatoes in the garden beyond. A rain gauge stands near the fountain, its glass catching drops to measure the season's bounty, a tool for teaching water's rhythm. The trellis, draped in vines, doubles as a canvas for botanical names: clematis, wisteria, jasmine, each tagged with a wooden marker, a lexicon for the curious. The oasis becomes a place of discovery, its lessons rooted in the earth, offered freely to those who pause to learn. Cultural influences weave into the tapestry, the oasis reflecting a mosaic of traditions. Picture a Japanese-inspired corner where a bamboo fountain clacks rhythmically. A Moroccan flair emerges in the seating, low ottomans in jewel tones of sapphire and saffron, their patterns echoing the rugs beneath. A Mediterranean echo rings through the olive tree, its silvery leaves paired with a terracotta amphora spilling ivy. The plants shift to reflect this diversity. A hibiscus, its crimson blooms a tropical flair, rises near the fountain, while a fig tree, its fruit a Middle Eastern staple, anchors another edge. A patch of rice grass, its blades whispering of Asian wetlands, edges the rill, and a cactus, prickly and proud, nods to desert resilience in a sunny nook. The lawn might host a mandala of herbs, saffron, turmeric, oregano, each a thread from a distant kitchen, their flavors a bridge to far-off tables. This cultural fusion deepens the oasis, its roots stretching across continents, its branches sheltering a world of stories. Experimentation takes root. The patio becoming a playground for bold ideas. Imagine a vertical garden climbing the wall, its pockets of soil bursting with succulents and air plants, a living mural that defies gravity. A hydroponic trough hums beneath the pergola, its water laced with nutrients, growing lettuce and kale in a soil-less dance. The hardscape joins this adventure. A section of the stone floor lifts to reveal a hidden planter, its depths home to a dwarf palm that rises with the seasons. A modular deck, its tiles interlocking like puzzle pieces, shifts to create new layouts. A dance floor today, a sunbathing spot tomorrow. The grasses rustle louder now. taller varieties like pampas swaying in chorus, their plumes a visual echo of the sound. This isn't noise, it's a soundscape, layered and alive, a song that shifts with the day's arc. Scent intensifies, its layers wild and deliberate. A patch of eucalyptus rises near the hammock, its menthol tang a cool breath in the heat, while a clove bush, its buds spicy and dark, nestles beside the fire pit. A bed of lilies spills over the gravel, their perfume heavy and sweet, a counterpoint to the citrus above. The patio's edges stretch further, linking to imagined realms. A greenhouse glimmers beyond the hedge, its glass panes fogged with humidity, home to orchids and ferns that spill into the oasis when weather permits. A treehouse perches in a distant oak, its ladder a bridge for young adventurers, its view a panorama of the lawn below. A labyrinth of low hedges winds into the distance, its paths a meditative spiral that loops back to the patio's heart. These extensions tie the oasis to a larger landscape, its influence rippling outward, a seed planted for future growth. Thank you for watching. Until next time.